Welcome to the Red Clay Homestead channel where we pretty much learn things, because I don't know nothing. So, real quick intro. Got brought by a pressure washer, said, hey, if you can fix this, I'll give you a lawnmower. You know a little bit about carburetors, right? And I was like, almost nothing, but we'll try. And through the process of working on this thing, I saw stuff I've never seen before, like gross. And I learned why we don't put ethanol in fuel, or why we don't use ethanol fuel in small engines, why you drain your gas out when you go to store something. I learned a good bit working on this stupid thing. There's a bit missing in the video. Well, I'll just tune back in a second and tell you about that. So, while I'm drinking my morning coffee, I'm also piddling with this thing. And the guy said he probably just put bad gas in it. I did pull the spark plug, make sure it was getting spark. It was. I still cleaned it up a little bit, and then a tiny bit of anti-seize on the threads, just in case I need to take out again in the future. It's got this weird goofy spring thing going on here, which I assumed was some kind of kill switch, but it could also be what maintains the throttle. But it's all, I don't know if you can see that, they just kind of have it stuffed in there, and it's got some extra wire hanging out, so may need to attempt to attach that a little bit better. I don't have any one to replace it. I did get it to fire up when I was feeding fuel through straight through the air cleaner here. There's my fuel all mixed up with a little bit of sea foam in it, and just took a smart water bottle and poked a hole in the top. So just a little bit of sea foam mixed with gas, and it of course blew some white smoke. But right now I'm draining the old fuel out into something I definitely need to label, and I'm gonna top it off with some fresh fuel, reattach that fuel line, see if we can get it fired up and get some of that fresh fuel in there. Hopefully we don't have to pull the carburetor off this thing and clean it out. Hopefully it's just that bad fuel and it's not wanting to burn good. So we'll see what happens. We'll keep you tuned in. Even with fresh gas, it still only fills up if you bottle feed it. I can't keep it running long enough to really do anything about it. Let's see if we'll... So, gotta sort through that. Comment below if you know what's going on with it. It's going pretty darn good off the bottle. I couldn't pull my phone out. I don't want it. Sorry I dropped you, but I couldn't keep it going. This thing's moving up and down every time it would idle high. So I guess we'll go and ponder it for a minute. But I mean, you can keep it going on a bottle. I'm thinking something's either just off with whatever sets the idle for this thing, or it's not pulling fuel through. And so when you feed it from the top, it'll run, but it's not pulling it all the way through the carb, which means we might have to do a rebuild, which sucks. So I'm not entirely certain why I'm recording this, but I'm working on this thing, and the guy told me if I get this running, he's going to give me a zero turn that needs some work. So I'm trying to figure this out, and I shot a little video the other day. I don't know if I added it to anything, but I was bottle feeding this, my fancy smart water bottle, hole poked in the top. Not the best, but it works. And I just couldn't keep it running, and someone mentioned to me, hey, it might be the float bowl stuck, and told me to blow compressed air. Well, I don't have compressed air. I was trying to avoid taking the carb off, but I went and bought some gasket material just in case I ruined the gaskets. So, I'm about to take this bad boy apart and see what we got. So, got the carburetor taken off, and try not to mess up these gaskets. This is a bit peculiar. I've never seen a white milky fluid pour out of a carburetor. That's a new one to me. Comment below if you had an idea. I know water and oil mixed together makes white milky fluids, or no, radiator fluid and oil. But this is all new. Look at that. Ugh. Probably gonna pour that in a bowl. So I'm not entirely certain how it occurred. This carburetor is entirely filled with what looks like detergent of some sort. I'm guessing somehow Somebody poured detergent in the gas tank? No, I'm just kidding. But that is pretty darn grody. So, you saw how bad that carburetor was. After searching the interwebs, I found Sears. They had a Q&A section on their website where the guy asked about the carburetor. It was like $55 for a new carburetor. I don't even know if Sears is still alive. Is that still a thing? Anyways, found the carburetor number, went to the great and mighty old Amazon, ordered a new Chinese knockoff one for like $12. It came in the mail Friday. I was so daggum excited. I had some other Friday plans, but I started piddling on this thing and then wound up piddling on it till after dark. But stay tuned, it may just run.
It's a lie. Still haven't sorted out how to redo the choke yet. I'm working on it.
I don't know if you can see this. I'll try to quit gleaming at you with that fancy shiny new carburetor. But I'm having the hardest time getting that to seat in there like it's supposed to. So I took the file, and I think I'm going to take a little bit off the top and the bottom to see if that helps. But it's just not, well, that might help. Let's see. Oop. Maybe even worse. So, just trying to get that seat right. By the way, I'm using the old one. I don't want to mess up the new one yet. So, without any further ado, somehow that bit slipped in there by itself. Can't really see it because it's dark. Did wind up getting the grinder out and taking a little bit of meat off of it, but that didn't do the trick. Somehow it just wound up sliding in there itself. Fires right up. So I'm gonna piece this junk back together and get rid of it. Thank God.
All buttoned back together, ready to go on this Friday.
So not the ideal Friday weekend working on this thing, but I figure what the heck. So we got it running and we're good to go now. Gonna go trade it out for lawnmowers.